With perfect flavor in every bite of Pringles. It's a taste you can't let go.
Good morning. Bienvenue à notre petit déjeuner de la Semaine nationale de l'action bénévole. Happy National Volunteer Week. Welcome on behalf of the Volunteer Center of Southeastern New Brunswick and the organizing committee. Merci à Legends. Le petit déjeuner est prêt. Un moment. Thanks to Legends staff, breakfast is ready for you to enjoy after I introduce our MC. En ce moment, I would like to bring forward our MC for this event, our friend, John Wishart, CEO of the Greater Moncton Chamber of Commerce. Directeur général de la Chambre de commerce du Grand Moncton, Monsieur John Wishart.
Thank you very much, Annette. Just one point of clarity, I'm no longer the CEO. That was 6 weeks ago. So welcome everyone, bienvenue to this morning to our Every Moment Matters Volunteer Recognition Breakfast event for 2024. I'm pleased to be hosting this morning with the Volunteer Center of Southeastern New Brunswick. Our event is also live streaming on the Volunteer Center Facebook page. This event is in partnership with the Volunteer Center and the Tri-Communities of Dieppe, Moncton, and Riverview. And we are here today to recognize a representation of volunteers who provide many hours of volunteering with our community agencies and organizations. The volunteers here this morning give back generously to so many individuals and families in our Tri-community. This morning, we will also receive greetings from the 3 municipalities and guest speakers providing testimonials sharing the way their volunteering impacts Every Moment Matters. Je souhaite les bienvenus à tous ceux qui sont présents ce matin à l'occasion de notre événement de reconnaissance des bénévoles de 2024. Ça compte toujours. Je suis heureux d'amener cette matinée avec le Centre de bénévolat du Sud-Est du Nouveau-Brunswick. Notre événement est également diffusé en direct sur la page Facebook du Centre de bénévolat. Il a lieu en partenariat avec le Centre de bénévolat et les 3 municipalités de Dieppe, Moncton et Riverview. Nous sommes ici aujourd'hui pour reconnaître une représentation des bénévoles qui redonnent généreusement à temps des personnes et des familles dans notre Tri-communauté. Ce matin, nous recevons également les salutations de 3 communautés et des conférenciers invités qui présenteront les témoignages sur la façon dont le bénévolat cadre avec le thème de « Ça compte toujours ». So at this point, I'd like to call forward the first of our 3 municipal representatives to bring greetings. On behalf of La Ville de Dieppe, Deputy Mayor Melissa Janin.
Bon matin. Au nom du Conseil municipal de Dieppe, j'ai le grand plaisir de me joindre à vous pour ce déjeuner de la Semaine de l'Action bénévole. Good morning. On behalf of Dieppe City Council, it is my pleasure to join you for the National Volunteer Week Annual Breakfast. Ce grand rassemblement annuel nous permet de souligner l'apport indispensable des bénévoles de Dieppe et du Grand Moncton. Les bénévoles offrent si généreusement leur temps pour faire avancer les causes qui leur tiennent à cœur. Le bénévolat est un don de soi en échange de la création de liens d'apprentissage et de connexion. Le thème de cette année, Ça compte toujours, nous rappelle que chaque contribution apportée est nécessaire et doit être valorisée. It's essential to recognize the outstanding devotion of volunteers from Dieppe and the area who tirelessly help others and the cause they have at heart. Votre enthousiasme et votre contribution sont les clés du succès de vos organismes individuels et de la collectivité. Je profite de ce déjeuner pour vous remercier de votre implication et de votre dévouement. Vous avez de quoi d'être fiers du travail que vous accomplissez et de son impact important pour nos communautés. En terminant, je souhaite une bonne semaine nationale de l'action bénévole. Merci. Thank you.
Thank you. Merci, Melissa. Next up, we'd like to welcome la mairesse de Moncton, the mayor of Moncton, Dawn Arnold.
Thank you, John. Good morning, everyone. It is such a great pleasure to be here this morning. C'est un énorme plaisir d'être ici, finalement, après 5 années, and to look out and see so many people that contribute so much to our community. I would like to just take a moment to thank the people that work at the City of Moncton. There are a lot of City of Moncton employees here today. Our CAO, Serge Doucette, is here somewhere. I don't see you, Serge. It's right over there. If you have problems, that's where you go. Serge, give us a big wave. Yes. And so many other really devoted employees that really contribute a lot to our community in so many ways outside of the walls of City Hall. So I would like to extend my very heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you who have dedicated your time, your energy, your passion to serving our community as volunteers. Your selflessness and commitment are the bedrock of our community, and today we gather to express our deepest gratitude to each and every one of you. This year, as we come together to honor your exceptional service, we do so under the theme, Every Moment Matters. This theme reminds us that every action, no matter how small, holds the power to make a difference in someone's life. Whether it's a smile shared with a stranger, a comforting word offered to a friend in need, or a helping hand extended to a neighbor, each moment of kindness and generosity has a profound effect. C'est grâce à ces moments apparemment ordinaires que nous créons des changements extraordinaires en façonnant une communauté où la compassion et l'empathie s'épanouissent. Alors que nous célébrons aujourd'hui vos efforts inlassables, rappelons-nous que chaque moment de bénévolat compte et que collectivement, nos actions ont le pouvoir de transformer des vies et d'élever les esprits. We're living in a really heavy time right now, and it can seem very bleak, but we all have the power to affect the positive change, and volunteering is a powerful force for positive change. So whether you're mentoring our youth, feeding the hungry, caring for the elderly, or protecting our environment, your efforts ripple through our community, leaving a lasting impact on the lives that you touch. So today, as we gather to celebrate your remarkable achievements, let us also reflect on the importance of solidarity and compassion. And I'm looking out and I'm looking at the Mayor of Elma right now, Bob Rochon, who is here with us today, representing what is happening in our whole community. And we spent the weekend together in Chelmsford, New Brunswick, with all of the mayors of the region. And it's a real testament to what is happening in our region right now, that we are all working together, and we all have truly bought into the concept that a rising tide raises all boats. But that is only possible because of all of you in this room and your dedicated efforts. And it is truly an honor to be able to work with so many of you. And as the mayor of this amazing city, I am really, really proud of everything that you do. And one more shout out, I'm gonna call out and embarrass Asher. Asher, give us a wave. Asher, right back here, President of Student Council at Moncton High School, member of my Mayor's Youth Advisory Committee, and he is the future of volunteering. So everyone, make sure you go and chat with Asher. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, Mayor Arnold. And last but not least, representing the town of Riverview, Councillor John Coghlan.
Morning, everybody. On behalf of Mayor Andrew LeBlanc and Riverview Town Council, it is a pleasure to be here today to recognize the community volunteers who are worked tirelessly in our community. I'd like to acknowledge two other councillors with me today, Councillor Wayne Bennett and Councillor Cecile Casista. Riverview strives to be a thriving community, and every person has a sense of belonging and support. Establishing this is no small part due to the fantastic work of the volunteers who give their time and energy to their communities in countless ways. Volunteers make a difference in individual lives, families, and organizations, and of course, towns and cities. As a volunteer, you set an example of selfishness and generosity for the greater good that trickles down to the lives of thousands of other people. On behalf of the town of Riverview, thank you. Thank you for taking the most precious commodity, time, and giving it back to your community. Thank you for your acts of kindness. Thank you for your commitment to making Riverview a great place to grow and the tri-community a home to many. You make a difference, and I'm honored to celebrate that with you today. Thank you very much. Enjoy your breakfast.
Thank you, Mayor, Councillor Coghlan. I almost called you Mayor Coghlan. Maybe that's something that's about to happen. I'd like to announce that employees from Royal Bank are today's volunteer greeters and are selling our 50-50 tickets. The tickets, yay, RBC. You'll see they're all wearing blue shirts. The tickets are $2 each, 3 for $5 or 7 for $10. And the proceeds from this draw will go, half the proceeds will go to one lucky winner who I might add has to be present to win, so don't leave early. And the other 50% will go towards the start of planning for next year's recognition event. So I'd also like to acknowledge that Dave Gothro, Jason Gallant, and Goodaw Saul, Volunteer Center board members, are our event seating hosts, and they're circulating the floor, making sure everybody is comfy. At this point, I'd also like to mention our event sponsors. We could not put on something of this scale without some great sponsors. Our event major sponsor, commanditaire principal, is J.D. Irving Limited. Our event volunteer sponsor, commanditaire des bénévoles, RBC. Our event venue sponsor, commanditaire de lieu, is the City of Moncton. Our event sponsors, Ville de Dieppe and the town of Riverview. Our printing sponsor, commanditaire de l'impression, is André's Printing. And our translation sponsor, commanditaire de la traduction, is Boret Translation Inc. So big round of applause for all of our sponsors. We'd like to acknowledge J.D. Irving Limited as the major sponsor for today's event. And I'll ask the following people to please stand after I've finished naming them to be recognized. Grant Courier, Vice President, Grant Courier, Vice President and General Counsel. Mark Cormier, Vice President, Community Relations. Carly Johnston, Community Relations Specialist. And Connor Woods, Community Relations Coordinator. Please stand and be recognized. And before Mark sits down, oh, too late, I'd like to call Mark Cormier, Vice President, Community Relations with J.D. Irving Limited, to please come forward to bring greetings. J'invite Marc Cormier, vice-président de la relation communautaire de J.D. Irving Limited, et offre ses salutations.
Thank you, John. Good morning, everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. My name is Mark Cormier, and I am the Vice President of Community Relations for J.D. Irving. I always find it difficult when I have to follow such great speakers because they say it so eloquently. But I'm going to share a few thoughts with you this morning and thoughts of thanks and the importance of what you've all done in the community. So now I realize that you're not all here just for breakfast, although the bacon I'm sure is going to be pretty good. You're here because you already are believers. You believe in the power and impact that volunteering can have. And my thanks goes out to you. But I would miss the opportunity if I didn't remind you and sell you on that power, the power within all of you. You see, by giving the gift of passion, support, and caring by your volunteer efforts, you're giving a valuable piece of yourself. That is your time. We know time is a limited commodity. We can't buy it, make it, or get it back. And by volunteering in your community, our community, you're gifting someone with something that is truly precious. Every one of those moments in time matter. You're making an impact, and that is what you give by gifting your time. You create opportunity and hope to those who need your support the most. Sometimes, all that people need is a helping hand, not a handout. And sometimes that impact that you have isn't always apparent on the spot. But I challenge you to think about when someone gifted you with a moment of their time, when you needed it most. I bet that mattered to you. Recently, one of our community members made this comment to me about one of their programs. All of our kids have talent, but not all of them have opportunity. Given opportunity, they can shine, they can compete on any stage in the world. The sentiment stuck with me because of the impact that those moments have on those kids in our community. Breaking bread is an often used way to bring people together. So my hope for us this morning is that we do exactly that as a community and double down on our efforts to help each other. You're already believers in the importance of volunteering, so all that I ask is you make believers of others. Share your passion. Bring others along. If you have a team at work, get them involved. See a need, share it with your colleagues. Lend a helping hand and make it a team-building event out of it. Talk to your friends, family. Share with them the positive moments that you have by supporting us. My thanks again goes out to all your tireless efforts in our community. We are very much a growing community with growing needs, so our support matters even more. Thanks for everything you do. Merci beaucoup. Have a good breakfast.
Thank you, merci, Mark, and thank you to J.D. Irving Limited for continuing with its great support for our community. I'd also like to acknowledge the following people with RBC: Barry Hunt, Commercial Account Manager, Commercial Finance Services, and volunteers besides Barry: Amy Lynn Patterson, Terry Ann Ailes, Abby Balogan, Mary Alice Collette, Marie Boudreau, Carrie Fillmore Nielsen, Kenny Alatubosan, Larissa McIntyre, and Kahish Malik. They're all with Royal Bank, And we'd ask Barry and all the RBC volunteers to please stand so we can thank them for their great support for this morning's event. So it says in my script that the 3 municipal representatives are free to leave the stage. So a big part of, okay, thank you. A big part of this morning is hearing from some representatives of our volunteers. They're going to provide some testimonials, sharing with us how every moment matters. So the first volunteer we're going to call up is Renee Charon. I'm going to read a little introduction and then we'll hear from Renee. In 2017, Renee began volunteering for Shelter Movers in Ottawa. Shelter Movers is a charity that provides moving and storage services to survivors, primarily women and children, fleeing abuse. During this time, she had the opportunity to connect directly with the organization's clients and volunteers, which gave her a greater understanding of the pressing demand for this service. Renee left the public service in 2020 to commit full-time to the organization, where she began an expansion project to serve survivors in the Greater Moncton area. In March of 2022, Renee moved to Moncton to oversee this expansion. Shelter Movers Greater Moncton launched the following January, and with the help of its volunteers and local partners, has been offering a much-needed service to survivors of abuse. En raison de sa passion pour les industries créatives et un nouvel amour pour le Nouveau-Brunswick, Renée a été choisie en août 2023 pour devenir directrice générale d'Excellence NB, une association sans but lucratif dont la mission consiste à promouvoir la croissance économique et la transformation culturelle au Nouveau-Brunswick. Elle est maintenant fière d'être bénévole pour Transit Secours Grand Moncton. Renee, would you please come forward?
Good morning, bon matin. Thank you for that lovely introduction. As said, my name is Renée Charon. I am the founder of Shelter Movers Greater Moncton, and now I am a very proud move coordinator and lead mover for the organization. As mentioned, Shelter Movers is a nonprofit organization that provides moving and storage services to survivors fleeing abuse. I started in Ottawa, my hometown, and to this day, I still remember my very first move. We were a team of 4 volunteers, and we were going on the move, helping the client as we do. She was accompanied by her mother. And actually, I was thinking about this last night. She was probably the age that I am now, fleeing her abuser. When we had arrived to her new apartment, we offered to help set up her L-shaped couch so she would have somewhere to sit. And as we were putting that together, we overheard her speaking to her mother in the kitchen, and she said, "Mom, there are 4 angels in my living room right now." That was a very special moment between us volunteers who kind of just looked at each other and kept working. Clearly that moment meant a lot to me because I kept volunteering with Shelter Movers and eventually became an employee and eventually moved to Moncton, and here we are. Shelter Movers Greater Moncton launched in January of last year, and we have since helped more than 128 moves. On those moves were 76 children and even 15 pets, who are all now in safe locations. We do so while working with incredible community organizations like Crossroads for Women, Harvest House, Youth Quest, YWCA. We'd be nowhere without them. We also do it with other supportive organizations like PAW, who have their pet safekeeping program so that pets have somewhere safe to be while the women are in shelters. We also do it with our business partners who provide in-kind storage space, discounted vehicles, and even boxes. And I don't want to say most importantly, but for the sake of this crowd, most importantly, we do it with the help of our amazing volunteers. Right now, we have approximately 70 volunteers on our team, and they're the ones who are not only lifting boxes and driving the trucks on the day of the moves, but they're also in the background, training the other volunteers, coordinating the moves, doing the intake with the shelters. Everyone has a very important role to play. As I mentioned, one of my many hats is being a lead mover. And I always say that Shelter Movers has the best volunteers. Because how often have you moved and you really had to convince your friends to help you? We have volunteers who do that multiple times a month with no compensation. Oh, thank you. Our volunteers do it multiple times a month with no compensation and for absolute strangers. As a lead mover on the move, you are the main point of contact for the client, the caseworker, the other team members. You're making sure that everything runs smoothly and most importantly, safely as well. I remember being on a move just a few months ago here in Moncton. We were just a team of 3 and the other 2 with me were men. We were moving the client, and as the 2 male volunteers were in the truck or coming up the stairs, the client confided in me that she had not been in the presence of a good man in a really long time. And that's the impact that our volunteers can have. It's a very sweet moment that we shared when she was safe in her new home, and the men around her provided her with hope, not fear. It was the beginning of her new life. The other hat that I wear is as a move coordinator, and that's how I started back in 2017. Because it's an administrative role, it's remote, and it's very flexible, so it worked with my work schedule. It's, as a move coordinator, you're the one who's liaising directly with the contact. You are the first person to call her to start organizing this move. You can be a shoulder sometimes, someone to just listen to her, but most importantly, you are empowering her to make that next step. You can ask her questions like, where do you want to be dropped off? Or what time works best for you? And that makes sure that this process is going to work for her. Oops, I forgot to speak French too. Donc depuis 2017, j'ai probablement travaillé à peu près 200 différentes clientes durant les années. I hope they're well. I hope they're safe, and I hope that they're alive, because that's the impact that our volunteers in our community can have. They help reduce gender-based violence, intergenerational trauma, and even femicide. Our mission is to remove barriers that survivors face when fleeing violence, and it would be nearly impossible, or at least extremely expensive, to deliver without our amazing volunteers. Donc, à tous les bénévoles ici aujourd'hui, je veux vous remercier pour donner non seulement votre temps, mais une partie de vous-même aux organisations avec qui vous faites du bénévolat. Puis aux organisations aussi, je veux vous remercier pour prendre soin de vos bénévoles, parce que sans eux, on ne serait pas capable de livrer notre mission. Donc, merci à tous. Your water now.
Okay. Wait, Renee. Thank you very much, Renee. Our next testimonial will come from Marianne Wright, and while I read her introduction, I'd ask Marianne to make her way to the stage. So Marianne Wright is a dedicated volunteer with Hospice Southeast New Brunswick. Marianne volunteers at the Boutique Hospice Shop, in the kitchen of Maison Albert House, as an in-home visitor, and most recently as a NAV Care volunteer. Her big smile, her quick wit, adaptability, and hard work make her a tremendous asset to the Hospice SENB team. Marianne Wright est une bénévole dévouée de l'Hospice Sud-Est de Nouveau-Brunswick. Elle fait de bénévolat à la boutique de l'Hospice, dans la cuisine de la maison Albert House, en tant que bénévole et domicile, et plus récemment en tant que bénévole du programme NAV Care. Son grand sourire, son vivacité d'esprit, son adaptabilité et son travail acharné font d'elle une formidable atout pour l'équipe de l'hospice. Marianne Wright.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Today I want to share with you the immense joy and fulfillment I find in volunteering at hospice. I began this journey not knowing exactly what to expect, but soon I discovered that making even a small difference during a challenging time could bring great satisfaction. At hospice, it's the little things that count. I cherish every single one of them. One of my favorite activities is working at the shop. Here, I have the pleasure of accepting and sorting donations. It's during these times I engage in meaningful conversations with visitors and fellow volunteers, creating a sense of community and support. Another highlight is making breakfast for the residents of Albert House. There's nothing quite like seeing the smiles and the excitement on their faces when I bring their chosen meals. Everything but poached eggs. Of course, I've learned that by experience. Hearing them commenting like, real eggs, real bacon, or we get treated so well here, warms my heart every time. It reassures me that what we do truly matters. I also spend time visiting our clients in their homes. These moments are precious, whether we're sharing stories, looking at old photos, or discovering new TV shows like The 70s Show. I bring treats, often hearing them jokingly say, "You know what a treat is, better than my husband." These visits not only provide comfort to our clients, but support to their families, giving them time to work, run errands, or even just rest, knowing their loved ones are in good company. Being retired, I find volunteering easy to fit into my life. It's incredibly rewarding. Every visit, every call, every smile, it all makes my day. So, why do I volunteer? Because in this role, I am reminded of the profound impact of kindness and the human connection. It's about making life a little better, one day at a time, for those around us. And for me, there's no greater gift than that. Most importantly, thank you all for the joy and kindness you add to the world as volunteers. You make a difference. Thank you.
I have something for you here.
Oh.
This is a donation to hospice.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Marianne. And our third testimonial is going to come from Aaron Forrest. So if Aaron could make his way to the stage. So Aaron, the volunteer organization that Aaron volunteers for is called Elder Dog Moncton Pod, P-A-W-D. Aaron is the education and outreach coordinator who is responsible for educating people on how they can support senior dogs and senior humans like me. There may be times you see them out spreading the word and creating awareness of how we can help with that senior component. Notre dernier témoignage de bénévole ce matin est celui de Aaron Forrest. Il travaille de façon bénévole pour Elder Dog Moncton Pod. Aaron est le coordonnateur de l'éducation et de la sensibilisation et il est pour responsabilité d'éduquer les gens sur la façon dont ils peuvent appuyer les chiens et les humains âgés. Il se peut que vous le voyez parfois en train de parler d'organismes et de sensibiliser les gens à la façon dont ils peuvent aider les personnes âgées. Please welcome Aaron Forrest.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies, for introducing me. I have been fortunate enough to volunteer with Elder Dog for over the past year, and what a wonderful experience it has been so far. I am the Education and Outreach Coordinator. My beginnings with Elder Dog started when I made a visit to Wren's Pets for some dog food for my puppy. I walked through the front doors to enter Wren's, and off to the left there was a table set off to the side. There were 2 to 3 people there, and they had a table set up with brochures of information. I asked the question, what does Elder Dog do? And I was met with the reply that Elder Dog is a 100% volunteer organization that helps with seniors and senior dogs. I was then asking, what does a senior component look like? And I was met with that Elder Dog helps with rehoming, dog care support, and education and outreach. It was then brought to my attention that there is a volunteer roster that I could be added to if I was interested. Volunteers are not required to complete a certain number of hours. The hours you put in are solely what you can do. I asked for contact information, and I signed up as a volunteer. Every moment matters is the theme of this year's breakfast. I want to emphasize the importance it is that every moment matters with what we do at our Moncton Elder Dog Pod, PAWD. Yes, we like our puns. As far as our team goes, we have an executive team that does an amazing job at what they do. From our volunteer coordinator, to our rehoming coordinator, dog support coordinator, to our communications coordinator, as well as our financial and treasurer coordinator, and of course, of our volunteers who volunteer on the front lines. Every moment matters what we do. We all have specific roles that we play, and we have one another to help each other out, spread the goal of making sure that Elder Dog is known. Every moment matters when we get referred for a dog that needs to be rehomed because for some unforeseen circumstance, an elder human can no longer take care of their dog, has been sent to the hospital and has to stay in the hospital for a period of time, or has passed away. Our rehoming coordinator is on it because every moment matters that dogs can still live out a life that they deserve. Through a process on its own, the rehoming process is underway to find the best fit for the dog. Now, in many cases, rehoming may not be the need. The need at hand may be that an elder human needs some dog support. This is where our dog support coordinator comes into play. Our dog support coordinator will look for volunteers to help our elder humans out. The dog support coordinator may look for volunteers to help with transportation to and from vet appointments or with dog walking. Every moment matters when you want the best for your four-legged friend, and all you need is some support from one of our volunteers. Finally, we have the education and outreach section. As far as education and outreach, it is the goal that we spread awareness about Elder Dog and what we do. Because chances are you or someone you may know may benefit from what we do to support elders. That is, if you have parents or grandparents that could use our help, we could be there for you. It may be that you have a senior dog that needs support in some capacity. Our education and outreach is important to spread that message. Elder Dog places an importance on the human-canine connection. You may see us set up at booths, at pet stores, out in the community at an event, or you may even see us at an event like this to get the word out. But it does not end at events. We also can be seen talking to groups of people and talking about what we do, and so they can see what we can do to help them. Every moment matters when you can educate that a volunteer organization like Elder Dog exists. When I took on this role of education and outreach a couple months ago, I did so because I've always had a passion for dogs, and I've always connected well with older adults. I also thought it would be a good opportunity to use my voice to communicate that passion and educate people on Elder Dog. Every moment matters when you want to make a difference in elder humans and elder dogs' lives, just like our Elder Dog Moncton Pod does, each and every day, thanks in part to all our volunteers. Thank you.
Got a check for your organization.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Aaron. That was an organization that I didn't know about until this morning. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all three of our volunteers for their testimonials. And you may have seen me passing an envelope to the three of them. The National Volunteer Week Event Committee has donated a check to each of the organizations in support of their continued volunteer effort. Pour remercier les bénévoles, oui. Pour remercier les bénévoles de leur témoignage, le comité de la semaine de l'action bénévole a remis un chèque à chacune de leurs organisations pour les encourager à poursuivre leur effort de bénévolat. So I think this is an appropriate moment to ask everybody in the room to give a big round of applause, not only to our three testimonial providers, but all the volunteers in the room, all the volunteers in our great community who do such great volunteer work every day. We could not be the community we are without you. So at this moment, I'd like to call forward Grant Currier, member of the National Volunteer Week Event Committee. Grant will provide an overview of the Becca Told Me To Award and read this year's nomination. Grant will then call forward this year's nominee, Regine Laura, along with Anne and Darren Schofield, who will present the nominee with the Becca Told Me To Youth Recognition Plaque. Grant.
Thank you very much, John, and good morning, everyone. This morning I have the honor, on behalf of the Volunteer Centre of Southeastern New Brunswick, of announcing the winner of this year's Becca Told Me To Outstanding Youth Volunteer Award. This award was created in honor of Becca Schofield, whose hashtag Becca Told Me To Acts of Kindness movement inspired so many young individuals to make a difference in our community. In January of 2015, at the age of 15, Becca Schofield was diagnosed with brain cancer. The tumor was removed, but in December of 2016, the cancer came back. It was now more aggressive and with multiple new inoperable tumors, and her cancer was now terminal. People wanted to help Becca, but what she wanted was for people to help others and to make this world a better place. So she came up with the idea of asking people to do random acts of kindness and post them on social media using the hashtag Becca Told Me To. As Becca would say, being kind is a choice, so why not choose kindness? Becca's movement had a ripple effect and eventually reached 94 countries around the world. Unfortunately, Becca Schofield passed away in February of 2018, but her movement and her impact still resonate to this day. This year's recipient of the Becca Told Me To Outstanding Youth Volunteer Award is Regine Laura. Regine truly embodies the spirit of Becca Schofield. Regine immigrated to Canada as an international student at NBCC, studying building engineering technology. She volunteered extensively at NBCC, acting as Moncton Campus VP of Events, Provincial Secretary, Provincial Director, and Campus President. She has also volunteered tirelessly in her community, volunteering for, among others, MAGMA, the Canadian Cancer Society, Elementary Literacy New Brunswick, People Animal Wellbeing, Future NB, NB Environmental Network, and the Filipino Association of New Brunswick. She has also volunteered for two causes that were particularly dear to Becca, Canadian Blood Services and the Humanity Project. Through all these acts, Regine, like Becca, has worked to show her kindness and to make this world a better place, and she's become a role model for our community. I am pleased to announce that she is the worthy recipient of this year's award. Accordingly, I'd like to invite Becca's parents, Anne and Darren Schofield, to the stage to present this year's Becca Told Me To Outstanding Youth Volunteer Award to Regine Laura.
Morning, everybody. Bonjour. I wanted the opportunity to say a couple words, but then as I was sitting there thinking of what I wanted to share, everybody that spoke before me pretty much said everything I wanted to share. But I just wanted to say that it warms our heart to know that 6 years after Becca passed away, her legacy continues. Her biggest fear was that she'd be forgotten, that she had no purpose, that she had not lived long enough to have a legacy. And in Regine, we see that the legacy continues. I want to thank you for the time that you donate to volunteerism, regardless of what inspired you to become a volunteer. Rebecca would say that an act of kindness can affect 3 people. It affects the recipient, it affects the giver, and it affected her because she got to read about it from her hospital bed. And I think the ripple effect of acts of kindness is much bigger. Kindness was once described to me as a rainstorm on a lake. The ripple effect of each raindrop generates more acts of kindness versus a rock being thrown on a lake where it only has a few ripple effects. The rainstorm sometimes will be, the raindrops will be intermediate, a very light rainfall. You'll see an act of kindness here, an act of kindness there. And then it will be a big storm where there's so many acts of kindness you don't see the drops anymore, you just see all the ripples. So that's what you guys do. Each act of kindness that you do, you're that raindrop, you're that ripple effect. So thank you for your act of kindness and thank you for your time. Je voulais juste prendre l'opportunité de vous remercier pour le temps que vous donnez, vous remercier aussi pour qu'est-ce qui vous a inspiré à faire des actes de gentillesse. Rebecca voulait changer le monde un acte de gentillesse à la fois, et avec votre aide, c'est possible. Et ça, je viens juste de l'expliquer en anglais que j'avais été décrit pour moi ces actes de gentillesse comme une tempête de pluie. Une pluie torrentielle sur un lac. Chaque goutte d'eau qui tombe sur le lac a ses propres répercussions, a son écho dans l'eau. Et chaque répercussion, c'est ce qui est produit d'après cet acte de gentillesse. Alors, merci pour être une goutte d'eau dans un lac plein de gentillesse. Bonne journée.
Thank you very much, Grant, and thank you very much, Anne and Darren and Regine, for your volunteer efforts in the community. I think it's such a great sign, symbol for our community that Regine, as a student at MBCC, is this year's award recipient. So at this point, I'd ask everyone to mingle, to chat. If you haven't been to the breakfast line, please do so now, and I will be back in 10 to 15 minutes to close off the event and for us to make our draw prizes. Thank you. Merci. Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. Before we get into the draws, I just want to mention one name, one of the RBC volunteers who I forgot earlier on. So let's have a big round of applause for Tony King. So we're now going to do the draw for the door prizes and the 50-50. And we want to thank Downtown Moncton Centreville Inc., English Jewelers in Riverview, MacArthur's Nursery, BJW Electronics, Donald Boucher, the wood guy at the Dieppe Market, Brenda Landry, artist painter, and Lego Life Jewelry from the Dieppe Market for their donations. So once again, the 50-50 draw will go to a lucky winner who's in the room, and the other 50% will be a starting kitty for next year's breakfast event. Nous allons maintenant effectuer les tirages des prix des présences de la 50-50. Nous voulons remercier Downtown Moncton Centreville Inc., English Jewelers, The Riverview, MacArthur's Nursery, BJW Electronics, Donald Boucher, the wood guy au marché de Dieppe, Brenda Landry, artiste peintre, et Lego Life Jewelry au marché de Dieppe. J'aimerais aussi mentionner que le tirage 50-50 irait un gagnant chanceux qui doit être présent et au financement de la préparation de l'événement de déjeuner de l'année prochaine. So at this point, I'd like to call forward Debbie LeBlanc, Volunteer Coordinator at the Volunteer Center, along with the Volunteer Center's Executive Director, Annette Votor, who will do the door prizes and the 50-50.
Thanks, John. Good morning. We're going to start with the 50-50 draw. So get it out your tickets. It's only one ticket that we're drawing for. And the amount that we are drawing for is $393. Go ahead, Annette. Did anyone pay her, by the way? And the winning ticket is?
And the winning ticket is 5903034.
Have to be present.
I'll repeat. I'm going to repeat 5903034.
Hey! Okay, so she's coming up. We're going to do it. Give the envelope. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Now we're going to do the door prizes. You have the door prizes. And you hold that. The first door prize that we're going to draw for is from MacArthur's Nursery, and it's a $50 gift card, and the ticket number is, you do the ticket number, I'll get this. Do the ticket. Call the ticket.
You can tell I take all my instructions from Debbie.
No comment.
Go
ahead. Yep.
Okay. So for the MacArthur's gift certificate, it's 340306. $340306.
Have to be present. Next ticket. Still a lot here.
Okay, the second ticket is 340269. We have a winner? And we have a winner.
We have a winner. Awesome. Our next ticket is for another MacArthur's Nursery gift card of $50.
Okay, the number is 340155.
Hey, right there. Awesome.
We got one where?
She's coming. I'm going to get the other two.
Oh, it's Johnson. MacArthur, she got MacArthur? It's Johnson.
I know. Look at that.
MacArthur's. Debbie, it's MacArthur's.
Hey! Okay, and almost gave away the next prize. The next prize is a painting from Brenda Landry. She's a well-known artist and painter, and the ticket number is
340122.
If you don't want this one, I'll get you another one.
There we go.
There we go, perfect. And we have a second painting from Brenda as well, and another draw for that ticket. Here you go.
Oh, this number is 340124. There we go.
You want to give it to her and I'll get the next one? Our next two door prizes are from Lego Life Jewelry from Dieppe Market, a gift bag, and the winning ticket is
340464. Over here.
Hey, Carly. And we have another gift bag from Lego Life Jewelry, and the ticket number is
340296.
I'm going to give her that, and I'll get the other four. Now we have 4 gift cards from downtown Moncton, and the first ticket is number
340475.
And the next ticket number is
340145.
I'll give it to you and you take out the other ticket.
Okay. The third downtown Moncton gift certificate is 340504.
Oh. And the last one, I did the last one.
Okay, and the last for downtown Moncton is 340235.
Winner? Okay.
Oh, you see who it is?
She's too young to retire. And one of the last door prizes is from Donald Boucher, and he's the wood guy with the Dieppe Market, and he has built this beautiful birdhouse. And the ticket number is Vanna. Thank you, Vanna.
The number is 340232.
Oh, he's off by one. Oh, Aaron.
Oh, good.
Okay. Now the TV. No, the TV first. That's last. Yep. Congratulations, Aaron. And the last two door prizes is a BJW donation, a 43-inch Samsung TV. And the winner is
340229.
Oh, look at Bob. Bob won it. Awesome. Your bag knocked it over. I think your bag just hit it. That's
It was a
fine.
bad idea.
It was. Thank you, Bob. Yeah, we'll give you help to take it out later. And the last door prize this morning is a $300 gift card from Ingalls Jewelers in Riverview, and the winning ticket is...
Are you ready? 340469.
Mike! Our IT guy.
Mike is our IT person. He saves us on most days, and we call him our superhero.
We'll sit down with us and Willie to stay.
Yep.
Thanks, John.
Congratulations again to all our winners, and a thanks to all of our sponsors of our gifts. And I agree, it's always good to keep your IT guy happy, so that's good. I'd like to say a thank you to a few individuals: Joanne Lamarche, who is recently retired, yay Joanne, Nicole Myers and Monica Tucker with the City of Moncton for their sponsorship, yay, in hosting us at this morning's venue. Special thank you to Brian Fisher for helping us with our audio needs. We also want to thank event sponsors Jonathan Desroches with the Ville de Dieppe and Karen Thompson with the Town of Riverview. Yay! Sans cette commodité très communautaire, notre événement n'aurait pas lieu. Et bien sûr, nous tenons à remercier tout particulièrement Matt Pennell et son équipe de Legends Restaurant pour les délicieux déjeuners buffets. Merci, Matt. Also, a big thank you to our National Volunteer Week Event Committee members, Debbie LeBlanc, Committee Chairperson, Annette Votor, the Executive Director of the Volunteer Center, Grant Courier, Board Member, Volunteer Center, and with J.D. Irving Limited, Barry Hunt of RBC, and Anne and Darren Schofield. And with that, nous remercions tout le monde d'être venu et nous reconnaissons une fois de plus les formidables bénévoles de notre collectivité. Je vous souhaite à toutes et à tous une bonne semaine de l'Action bénévole 2024. Thank you everyone for attending, and once again for recognizing the awesome volunteers in our community. We wouldn't be who we are without them. We wish everyone a happy National Volunteer Week 2024. Have a great day.